What's up, you guys? Welcome back to another episode of Let's Talk Boxing. So, today we are going to be recapping the fight on Canelo versus Bivol.
Man, just like everybody else, our predictions were wrong.
Yep.
But it was a good fight. Go ahead. What'd you think?
Shoot, man. I got to eat my words.
Yeah, you words.
I got to eat my words.
I feel like we should start this off by saying, just based on like how the interactions that we've seen on social media, everybody's talking about Canelo. I think it's only right that we start this off by saying congratulations to Bivol.
Congratulations,
Bivol fought an amazing fight.
He did.
He stuck to the game plan better than you could tell. Especially that part when Canelo was like, come on, he's like, no, you come on.
Yeah,
I was like, at that point, like I stood up and I was clapping.
Yeah.
Remember, I was clapping. I was like, yeah, that's what I wanted, and that just showed how much he stuck to the game plan.
Yeah.
But yeah, we're talking about the fight.
He did his thing in the ring, man. Like, I did not expect that at all. And like I said, I wasn't so excited about the fight. I was excited just to see boxing in general, but not so excited to see, them fight. But damn, that shit was a good fight. It was good because I feel like we finally seen Canelo get challenged and someone that wasn't afraid to go toe to toe with him, and
Yeah, just like I said on our prediction, we want someone to stand in there and be like, look, he put the draws on just like me, and look at him in the eye and equal to equal.
Yep.
And that's exactly what Bivol did. He came out there and he showed
love.
Man.
But let's start from the beginning, okay?
Right.
I'm gonna start off from the beginning. It's something that I hadn't even thought about until we started talking about from the moment, even from the ring entrance. With Bivol having the belt, being the champion, and Canelo being the challenger, I think it was some bullshit that Canelo came out second.
Yeah.
I think that Canelo should have came out first, and I think Bivol should have came out second.
Like I understand, he's the A side and everything, but I've seen some analysts and everything say you need to be true to boxing.
I think give boxing its respect.
Yeah, I felt like that was disrespectful. Like, even though you may be the A side, you the money man, I just felt like it's just to respect the sport of boxing. The champion should go last.
Yeah, and it should stay like that across the board.
Yeah.
It doesn't matter how much of a superstar you are. Boxing is boxing. Yeah. Canelo could have still did his thing, stand on top of there, looking at everybody up in the pedestal.
Yeah.
But I like Canelo's entrance. I mean, it had the Mexican mariachi going with the folklorico dancers.
Definitely.
I liked it,
Definitely.
And
I was gonna say, a lot of people, like me included, was like, man, I want to see someone get in there who hasn't had who's had a big moment already, so this wouldn't be their big moment.
Yeah.
Now Bivol, he's had big fights, against like Joe Smith, and he's had some other big fights, but this was a huge fight, and for him,
it's a Mexican fighter.
Exactly.
And crazy.
And everyone bullying you, it's just, and he hasn't had that moment, but the fact that he rose to the occasion, that just shows how special he was, because we've seen everyone else freeze up. A lot of the people will freeze up, and I know we're gonna get into the fight, but it seemed like, when the fight was going on, even Canelo was caught off guard about how much Bivol was letting his hands go. Because the opponents that he's been having, they've been afraid to let their hands go, and is afraid to counter. And so there's times I'm like, dude, where's Canelo with his hands down? And he was getting cut, But yeah, so it was just amazing to see him rise to that occasion with the ambiance that was going on, and he's never been in that moment. And for him to just do that, it just shows he is a true warrior. So true champion, and my hat's off to Bivol.
Yeah, I think he fed off that energy too.
Definitely.
And like he said, he's never been in a stage where it was that loud. So even if it was against him, and the crowd was going loud and crazy for Canelo, I think just being in there for him. It gave him ammo, because like you said, for other people it could be like, oh shit, all these people are against me, whatever. Yeah. But it gave him ammunition to keep going.
And the other thing I like about this thing is I appreciate that Bivol, he showed everyone look, there's weight classes for a reason, and he put some respect on the light heavyweight division. Everybody's thinking light heavyweights is sweet. Canelo, he gonna go up there and take the belts. I'm not even gonna lie. I thought he was gonna go up and take the belts too. But
Yep.
I respect that he put some respect on that division. Like, look, no, we can fight up here,
Yep.
and you don't have to think twice. And now. And personally, I would like to see Canelo. I didn't like how he moved at 175. I'd like to see him go at 168. But
yeah, I agree. Like he made his statement, like, you're coming up to challenge me for the belt.
Yeah,
it's not gonna be like taking candy from a baby, you know. And I was really excited. I was happy that happened because. Again, I was going to it's going to be a knockout. We're going to see nothing different, whoop-de-whoop. But Bivol came to fight and to defend his belt, and he did. He did that shit.
Definitely.
Now, getting into the fight, I thought, I don't know what Canelo didn't look like Canelo in that ring. Okay, he wasn't moving his head like he was moving his head on the other rounds. His defense was not at all what we've seen it before. And he was just, I don't know if he got too cocky or what it is, leaving his hands down and just taking like he wanted to get hit. I don't know if he was just standing right there on the ropes just to get hit. Maybe he was thinking it was gonna get him more excited to go after him. I don't know what happened.
You know what I was thinking? Because that was a little different from him. But I really think he was just trying to, I think he had a game plan, but I think once he figured out like it wasn't working and like, I think he was trying different stuff. You know what I mean? Like, not necessarily, I think he was just trying different things after the plan didn't work. And I think that's why he was kind of doing that. But yeah, we never seen him like that. And there was like one round where he was just sitting there on the ropes for a long time. We're like,
it was frustrating.
Yeah. And so I think, and maybe that's just credit to Bivol. He, in his game plan, they couldn't, he couldn't figure him out, But man, Bivol came ready. He came in shape. Mm-hmm. He came with a chin. His defense. He kept his high guard tight. Canelo was throwing bombs. And he was absorbing. It was a good fight.
Yeah, it was a good fight. But I think Canelo came into this fight with his strategy like he had with other fighters.
Yeah, like he had
Get
that.
the hand.
Yeah, the fight when I can't remember the guy's name, but yeah, where he just kept
trying to,
What's the guy's name? Callum Smith. Callum Smith, that's his name. Yeah, the Callum Smith where he kept isolating the bicep, and we remember what his bicep was all messed up after the fight. Yeah. But Bivol came prepared. I know he was ready.
Yeah,
he was like, oh yeah,
that was gonna happen.
Yeah. And so
I think Canelo should have had different strategy because then you start to become too predictable, you know, and. Canelo was hitting Bivol with some punches that were, probably hurting him in tough punches. But unlike the other fighters, Bivol was like, all right, I see your 2 punches and I'm going to give you 6. Like he was not afraid to let go of his hands.
Yeah, and you know what? And we've never seen Silva he stood, and there was times he stood in front of Canelo and just fired off 1, 2, 1, 2, 1, 2, right in front of, and we're like, damn it. We've never. The lack of respect for Canelo, I just love.
Yeah. Because
you've never seen that. And it looked like it caught Canelo off guard, too.
Like, what is going on?
After,
you're not respecting me?
Yeah, exactly. After fighting Yildirim, BJ Saunders, these guys, I felt like him fighting those guys kind of like didn't prepare him for Bivol. Because Bivol was in there just, like I said, he didn't give Canelo that respect. And that's all I've been waiting for, which is why... I've wanted some of these other fights because I think that they would show, less respect to Canelo. But man, Bivol came out and did what a lot of people didn't think he could do. Hats off to him. And now I can't wait. Now I haven't been that excited for that division at 175. And now that he, put some respect on that division, I can't wait to see Bivol honestly fight the winner of Better Biv and Smith. I'm intrigued to watch that fight, and I want you. Go ahead, and tell what you want. What do you want Canelo to do?
No. Well, let me just talk about real quick that Bivol's. I want to still talk a little about the fight. Bivol's jab was incredible, incredible. It was getting through Canelo's gloves. I don't know what the hell, how that happened, but it seemed like all his punches were getting through Canelo's defense that he was trying to have. And yet on the other side, Bivol kept his defense so tight, covering his body. And it wouldn't get, you know, when Canelo tried to hit him, it wouldn't get through like Bivol's did. So again, it showed, put some respect on this division because we got power.
Exactly, and it's weight classes for a reason.
Yeah,
you know what I mean? It's weight classes for a reason, you know, and that just shows like how great it was. I mean, it just shows the fighters that have been able to do all that. And Canelo has won in many divisions, so like
going up.
Yeah, and I think a lot of that, you know, like when we look at it, you like, the punches weren't having effect. I mean, Bivol's the bigger dude, you know, Bivol's the bigger guy.
Yeah.
But yeah, you know, so like
go ahead.
Yeah. But, you know, Bivol, you know, he fought a great fight, and and I also like the humbleness out of him, because, you know, because they tried to ask him in the press conference, like, do you think you're the man now? And he goes, you know, no, I don't think I'm the man. He goes, I think I was just a better man this night. Yeah. And he said, you know, I was the champion. He goes, I was the champion. He goes, exactly. And he's like, I was the champion. This is my weight class. So he's like, yeah, he goes, you know, he was coming up. So do I feel like I'm the man? He goes, no, I was just a better, and I respect that, because he pretty much was saying exactly what we just said. There's weight classes for a reason. Like, he felt like he should win, you know, and I just love it. I love it. That's why we love the sport of boxing. We get you know, outcomes we don't necessarily think is gonna happen.
Yeah, and we'll see what happens next, because again, you know, I don't know, did Canelo get too confident, like we said, planning his next fights, and you know, like, you coming up to a bigger weight class. One, you changed your diet. Yeah. Two, you're coming up there. You don't know how your body's gonna feel at 175, and you're already gonna fight for a belt. You know. Yeah. And maybe, I don't know if that has something to do with it, because Canelo did say that, you know, like, I felt heavier, and I think maybe it was, you know, the extra weight that I had on, because he seemed really slow. He seemed slow. Even mentally, it kind of looked like his mind wasn't in there right.
Like I said, I want to give that, for the fact that he wasn't there, I'm gonna give that credit to Bivol in his game plan. So that's what I'm gonna count it to.
Yeah.
But yeah, definitely, like, you know, when I'm switching up the diet, I mean, I guess, I don't know if I'm old school or not, but I'm like, if it's not broke, don't fix it. Yeah. That's kind of how I look at it. And like, you know, I've kind of looked into the, you know, the vegan stuff a little bit, but it's like, you know, usually when they say, you know, as far as, you know, the fighters that have, you know, they usually want, you know, the meat when you're moving up. You know, it just makes sense for me. You know, I'm not an expert, but, you know, it's kind of weird. If something wasn't broke, you know, I would, you know, don't fix it. But, you know. Yeah. We have been, you know, giving Bivol the praise as he should. But, I mean, we also need to give credit to Canelo. Canelo did try to, he took a risk in, you know, he took a risk in going up and trying to, you know, trying to chase greatness. You know, I mean, it still was a big, you know, it still was a big, you know, feat he was trying to do. So we got to give him credit for that. Mm-hmm. You know, he is, even though he's not giving us the fights we want, it's not like he didn't, you know, that wasn't, you know, a challenge for him to move up. That was definitely a challenge, you know. Now, like we said, hopefully now that we can start getting the fights we want, and maybe this will make him want to get more respect on it, you know, more respect on his name now, because this will maybe knock him down a peg, you know?
Yep, that's what I said. I said, maybe if he loses to Bivol, he might, you know, that might make him want to come back and fight the fights that we want to see, like Charlo, Benavidez, or Boo Boo. Like, you know, we want to see those fights happen here. So maybe after losing that, he's like, shit, I gotta, you know, give the fans these fights, get some respect on my name. You know, I still got Canelo Alvarez beating, you know, the other guys if he boxes them out, you know, but.
Hey, and another thing is, this is my favorite part about all of this. No more Triple G fights.
Do you think it's not going to
happen? Please, no more. No, I don't think so. No, because this is supposed to be a second one, and Canelo wants the rematch. He's saying the rematch. Right. So if he takes the rematch, then Triple G don't have time to wait. I feel like Triple G has to move on now. Because he's either... Because why would he... Because he knows that Triple G, a lot of people didn't want to see that fight. He just took an L, so I think it's either going to be... He's going to either rematch, or he's going to give the people what they want to see.
Wait, you said 3 more fights this year, or 2 more fights? How many more fights Canelo said he's doing this year?
Well, it was supposed to be Triple G, and they said a possible one for December, but you know,
whoever's the winner of
no, not the winner. It was going to be just a regular DAZN fight, just a random fight on DAZN. I don't think they really had an opponent. I think they were talking about like John Ryder or something, but it's another fight that no one wanted.
So you think that the Bivol fight, that's going to be Canelo's next fight? You don't think he's going to fight someone else?
I think it's going to be either that or he's going to go back down to 168.
Well, I was thinking, shit.
I don't want the rematch. Do you want the rematch?
I do. I'm not gonna lie. I'm not gonna lie. I do want to see that rematch just because I want to see if Canelo can come back first go back, analyze, see his fight, see, what he did wrong or whatever. And I feel like if he feels that he can change some things, maybe to his diet or whatever it is, if he confirms that rematch, I know he's going in there with bad intentions on that fight with Bivol, the rematch. I feel like if he sees, his flaws or whatever, I think he's going to want to go in there and get that rematch, because he said, no se va a quedar así, like, this is not going to, end this way. I want to get my name back and I want to get the victory. So I think that rematch might happen, and I would be excited to watch it. Now I'll be excited to watch that fight. I would,
all right, for you guys don't know, the reason why she's laughing because
I was not excited to watch the fight, okay? I was not excited at all to watch the fight because it wasn't a fight that I wanted to see. But fuck, Bivol came through, man. He did his thing, he made Canelo look different. And I like to see challenging fights. I don't like to see a walk in the park in there, So I like that. So, do you want to watch the rematch? What do you think? Why don't you want to watch the rematch?
I don't want a rematch because I just didn't like the way his body, I didn't like the way that, I felt like the way that he moved at 175 was so much different from 168. I felt like he just lost so much of himself as a fighter moving up. I thought he was slower. I thought his defense was bad. And his defense had been looking good, prior to this fight. He was slipping stuff, and I was enjoying that. And now when he moved up to 175, he looked slow. And I'm like, man, it looked like his stamina wasn't there. He was gassed out, I remember he had, gas issues in the past. We hadn't seen him gas out in a long time. And he thought, what I mean? So I think the weight, I just didn't like how he moved at the weight. And I just think I liked him at 168. The power had more effect. And I just think he's better at 168. I think it's just too much for him to move up. And Bivol's, I don't even think Bivol's as big as the other 175 pounders, because Bivol was talking about like he didn't mind fighting at 168. Shit. You see what I'm saying? So I think it's just I don't like Canelo at 175. So that's why I don't want the rematch.
So what, you don't think that Canelo can do changes? I know you say you don't like him at 175, but you don't think he's gonna go back, reevaluate, and you don't think he can get better?
No, I think he can. I'm not saying that I don't think he can come back and get better, but it's just like that weight class, I just feel like it's too much, and I feel like there's just better fights out there to be made.
That's true.
But I know that, but I'm not mad at him if he wants it. I understand it, because if I'm the one that lost, I'm gonna want to revenge the loss off top. And I know that he probably wishes, we already know he wishes he could have got that Mayweather rematch. So he actually has a chance to get a rematch a loss. I know he's gonna want to take it. So, and I would too. But I'm just saying, for me as a fan, I would rather see him fight at 168, because I just think I just like how he looks at 168 better. But do I think he can make adjustments and be better? And do I think he could possibly win? Of course. I'm not gonna go. I mean, I'm still, even though he lost, I'm not gonna go against Canelo on that. But it's just something I just personally wouldn't like to see. I'd rather see Bivol fight against the other top people who are actually 175. You know what I mean? Yeah. So we can actually see who the best is in that division. That's just how I feel.
Yeah, that makes sense. I still want to watch that rematch.
But I want to watch the rematch too. I'm just saying I would rather watch those other fights at 168.
So who would you choose next to go up against Canelo at 168? I want one name. Who would it be?
One name. Okay.
Because we all know multiple names. But if you had to choose his next fight, who's it going to be with?
Okay. If I had to choose one fight, I would choose... Is that even a question?
Go.
Is that even a question?
I know who I want him to fight next, and then after that one, I know who I want him to fight.
I'm gonna tell you like this. After watching that Bivol fight, I'm even more intrigued to see two fights more than the other. So for more of an action-packed fight, because I got two fights for Canelo. If I want to see an action-packed fight, I want to see that Benavidez fight.
So that's your next one. That's
Oh, I only get to choose one?
No. Okay, so we obviously know who's gonna be up, right? Well, we wanted to. Tell me who you want to fight next, and then who's gonna be the next one after that. So who's his next fight? You're saying Benavidez.
Who I would want, right?
Yes, next fight.
Next fight, yeah, I would want Benavidez just for the fact that Benavidez has been in there with Bivol, and he said oh yeah, he thought that Canelo was gonna get his timing and get him out of there. And he's like, yeah, I think that tells me that Benavidez felt like he could do that to Bivol. You know what I mean? Like, that's kind of what I feel like. And so now, if he thought that about Bivol, now I feel like he is licking his chops. Because offensively, just like how he was watching Bivol throw all them, man, Benavidez got combinations. The thing is, he got the offense, but it's his defense. I don't know if he can be, because Bivol, he stayed disciplined defensively.
Yes.
And so that's the only thing. I think that Benavidez got more offense than Bivol, but that defense, and that's what might make it for a good fight. You know what I mean? That's why I'm intrigued.
You're saying Benavidez and Bivol?
No, I'm saying Benavidez and Canelo. You asked me who likes more than Canelo.
Okay, yeah.
If I had to choose one fight, I would like to see that one.
That one, okay, all right.
But what about you? If you had to choose the next opponent for Canelo, who do you want to see?
Look, Canelo, you got to hear me on this, and I think this is what you need to do, okay? I think that the next fight should be Charlo, okay? I think it should be Charlo. Because for one, it's going to be an explosive ass fight. It'll be an amazing fight to see, right? We've been wanting that fight. I want to see that matchup happen. I got Canelo on that fight. I do got him winning, okay? After that fight, because Charlo needs to get his moment, okay? I think Charlo needs to have his, just like, we talked about Mayweather giving Canelo his shot when Mayweather was, the top-notch shit fighter. Canelo needs to give someone a chance like that, to show off their skills.
I'm retracting.
Hold on, you can't retract. Right? So I think he definitely needs to give Charlo, because for one, they said they didn't fight when they were in the division below. It's just a fight that has just been prolonged too long. I think it needs to happen.
Yeah.
Okay?
You're right.
So that's my next one, Charlo. After that fight, again, I got Canelo winning that fight. After that, the next opponent I want is Benavidez against Canelo Alvarez in Mexico. That's gonna be the fucking fight to watch, because Canelo's been saying that he wants to give a fight, to Mexico in Guadalajara, that he wants to take his people a fight out there. What better of a fight to have a Mexican versus a Mexican in Mexico? Fireworks, explosive. That shit right there will be wild. They'll fucking block the border for that shit.
Yeah, that would be crazy.
The streets are gonna be fucking crazy and wild. That shit right there would be historic. Because if you take, the next fight with Charlo or someone else that's not Mexican to fight in Mexico against Canelo, it's cool and all, but it's someone's home, like that's where they are. I think it'd be so much more fireworks if you'd have a Mexican versus a Mexican fight in there, you know what I mean? And that just shows so much more balls from, both fighters saying, okay, we're fighting our country, we gonna fight it out to see who's gonna represent Mexico,
All right. So yeah, when I think of who I want to see Canelo fight next, it's like, so right off the top of my head, I want to say Benavidez, but I don't want to say Benavidez for the simple fact that I want to see Benavidez and Charlo first before. Because that's the only thing, because of all this shit talk, that's the fight to be made now. The fans have called for it. Jamal Charlo, he said he'll break David's neck. David called his bluff, and the fight hasn't happened. They go to the fight, and they're at the same thing. They get into it with each other, and there still hasn't been a fight been made. So that's the fight I want to get made before, and then the winner fight Canelo, because that's what I want to see.
But there's been so much tension between Caleb Plant and David Benavidez too. That's the fight I want to see.
There's so many fights.
I just think Charlo needs his moment. I just think he needs to have it. He's already almost in his 30s already. I feel like he needs to have that fight.
All right, so then then what about like this? This is what I would like to see then. What about if we go Benavidez, Charlo, right? We get Benavidez, Charlo versus the winner of Canelo versus Andrade. The winners fight each other. Because I say that because they always say, oh, Canelo, he doesn't want to fight a slick back black fighter. At 168, Andrade's the slickest black fighter. He's called Canelo a bitch to his face. He's gone. He's came up in the press conference, and he shows that he really wants to fight. And on top of that, he's a boxer. You know, everyone says that Canelo can't beat that style. Look, he just lost to Bivol, who is a boxer. Come down and prove it. We just saw his stablemate in Oscar Valdez fight a slick back fighter in Shakur. Now it's time for Canelo to step up and say, I'll do it too, just to prove a point.
Since he was pushing
Valdez, now it's his time to step up to the plate and fight a slick black fighter too.
You don't think Charlo's a slick black fighter?
I don't think Charlo's a slick black fighter. I think he's a good black fighter, but I think you know, he's not really a make you miss type. You'll see Charlo block, you know, Charlo's blocking, he's coming forward and it looks smooth, but it's, you know, you'll see Andre's slipping, you know what I'm saying? He's moving his head, you know, he's using the ring. You look at Charlo doesn't, you know, Charlo's a dog, you know, he coming, you know what I'm saying? He got a nice jab though, so a lot of people be like, oh, you know, he's a slick black fighter. He got a great jab, but I don't really consider Charlo slick, you know what I mean?
Mm-hmm. That'd be cool. I just feel like Charlo needs to get his chance with Canelo.
Yeah, I think he does too, but you know what? I think that the fact, had he have not called David Benavidez when he was at 160 and said, oh yeah, I'll break David Benavidez's neck. And when Benavidez at 168, and then Benavidez, okay.
You don't call out a man like that.
Okay, and Benavidez like, okay, run that shit.
Yeah.
And then all of a sudden, oh no, I'm not a 168 pounder. But then, I'll fight Canelo at 168. You know what I'm saying? And so now he's like, oh no. See, that's the only reason why. Had he have not done that, I would have been like, yeah. But the fact that he did that, and they always, you know, they Lions only and all this. Look, it's time to fight. You can't I feel like that goes against Lions only. You got someone calling you out, you know what I'm saying, who gonna get into it with you in public. You know what I'm saying, and you not gonna fight that dude. Let's just be clear on the Charlo brother we're talking about, because people always get them mixed up. We are talking about Jermall Charlo. There is a difference. Jermall Charlo moves one way. Jermall Charlo moves completely different. So the Charlo we're talking about is Jermall Charlo. And so if he had not did all that with Benavidez, I would be just like you and asking for the Canelo fight. But since all of that happened, and I really thought, I was like, yeah, I knew for a fact, once Benavidez said, oh, you break my neck, I thought we had a fight. Because everything else, Charlo has always showed us like, oh, he about that action.
But I think, I also heard them say that Andrade was in talks with
Parker. He's fighting Parker.
No. He's in talks with David Benavidez. Yeah. That both their dads.
But yeah, I mean, all in all, it was an amazing fight. We were entertained. Hats off to Bivol, amazing performance, and we know that he's his star has grown. You know what I mean? He's definitely. Sure. I know he's gained some fans. I know. But yeah, you know, hats off to Canelo. You know, for taking this challenge and taking the risk. We can't wait to see him get back in the ring, wherever that may be, at 168, 175. Anything else you want to add on the fight?
Nope. I was just an exciting fight to watch. I take my words back, and I eat my words. So.
All right. So yeah, catch us next time.
Thanks for tuning in, you guys, and don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe, and catch us on our next episode of Let's Talk Boxing.